everybody, and welcome here to race number 15 of Season 9 of the NNSCRA Snickers Cup Series. We are here live from Thornton Raceway. We just come off the race at Open Roads. Well, these drivers, it's kind of out of the frying pan and into the fire. They're going to have another endurance race here at another very equally difficult track, the home to the Turn of Death. These drivers going to have to face off not only against each other, but against the elements of this very difficult, over 12-mile street roads turned into NASCAR track. Brandon Gonzalez starts on the pole position alongside of Kyle Miller. Austin Weiner and Austin Talley will make up row number 2. We are not even going to have a starting lineup really anymore at the beginning of the video for you to be able to see. This is how you're going to see your starting lineup to see where you even start. So I apologize for that, but it does take quite a bit of time to put a starting grid together, and at the current moment I just don't really have the time to be able to do that. I want to get this season rolling as best as it can, and there's going to be a lot of gaps in between of races and everything if I do a starting lineup. So looking all the way through here, there's Ralph Mason, made his debut last week back into the Snickers Cup, and then Tanner Sullivan, Gene Sanford making up the final row. So we got the command to fire the engines. Let's get going. Can't really see him past the trees, but we'll see him in a minute. I did make a couple of mistakes last week, as a matter of fact. I not only I mentioned Ralph Mason making his return, but there were a couple of other drivers that were actually making their debuts in certain ways. One of them, actually in this field, Riley Anderson, the 26th, making his second start. He made his debut last week. And then also Charles Sanford made his debut for RRE Racing. I actually didn't mention that until the very end of the race. We'll see him in Division 3, but here we go. 2 laps of caution-free racing here at Thornton. Green flag is out. If you wreck, you wreck. Oh, wow, they just got ran over by a train. Half the field is dead. Brandon Gonzalez gets out to the lead. Austin Weiner into second. That's William Duncan to third. William Duncan right now is currently locked into the chase at the current moment. 9th in the chase standings is where he'd be if the race, or if the chase were to start now. Let's take a look at the flyby. Best camera here for us is actually the spectator camera. Some of the camera angles a little wonky, but we'll deal with them. And I don't know if anybody's run into trouble yet. Let's look. Nope, there's Gene Sanford, who started dead last. She's still running. So everything's all good for the moment. Challenge for the lead. Brandon Gonzalez under fire from William Duncan, who won earlier on this season. Oh, look out. Duncan taking that turn a little wide. Duncan won, if I'm not mistaken, at Infineon. So he knows how to get around road courses. Brandon Gonzalez trying to become the first Mitsubishi Lancer to get to victory lane since the season finale at Season 8 at Armory when Joshua Collard went to victory lane. He's the only driver in NNSCRA history to get a Mitsubishi Lancer to victory lane. He did it twice last season, not only at Armory, but also at the rallycross type track of Stunt Road. But Mitsubishi has not gone to victory lane yet here in Season 9. The closest I think that they were was Charles Sanford back at Dover when he had to pit with 2 to go while leading the race. That was the closest shot they had so far this season in Season 9. And of course that not really working out for Sanford. He's now moved over to a Chevrolet at Retro Racing Enterprises. Look at the draft there on the, I guess you call that the right side. William Duncan with help from Kyle Miller and Austin Weiner. He will move to the point. The 3 wide behind him, that's John Cittadino making that 3 wide move. Charles Jackson right behind him. So 2 former Snickers Cup Series champions working together. Uh-oh, I just heard someone spinning. Oh, we got a car up and over. That's Luigi Victorino. Tim Walsh was back in that. Nick Alton's in it. Looks like Pichu London sustained some damage. Corey Williams Oh, and Gene Sanford's car has come to a stop, and she's had to teleport to pit road. Zeke Marley also was in it. There's London. There's Victorino, who went flipping into the other lane of that highway. As we have the best camera angle here. Kyle Miller out in front. Austin Weiner right behind him. Brandon Gonzalez still in that group. Charles Jackson, who, by the way, does have a Snickers Cup Series win here. It was back in Season 8, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Season 8? Yeah, it was. It was Season 8 when Lawler won the championship. Charles Jackson won while driving the number 20 for Joe Gibbs Racing at this track. Kyle Miller leading the way. He's had two teammates at Young Motorsports go to victory lane already this season. Chris Kyle twice and Tanner Sullivan once. Trying to win here is, oh man, Kyle Collins way up the track there. So was Citadino into the steel guardrail. They were able to keep it together though. Let's look further back here, see if any of these guys run into trouble. There's Riley Anderson. Second start looking good right at the moment in that Mercedes-Benz. Anthony McCurry behind teammate Ralph Mason. Winston Rivers just got the steel guardrail there. Oh, there goes Steven Gonzalez off track. And that was right in front of, I believe that was Corey Williams. It was. Williams and Gonzalez both off track. Move back up here to the front. As this is the turn of death here. Oh, Citadino fell off the turn of death. John Citadino fell off the turn of death. He's already teleported back to pit road, but he did go off. Ian Siegel's on his way to pit road. Oh, Luis Hernandez went off the turn of death. Flipping and barrel rolling down on the beach. Luis Hernandez has gone off the 15-foot drop. Battle on for the lead here. I'm assuming Ian Siegel's coming to pit road after getting involved in that incident with Luigi Victorino and others back there on that highway portion. And the white flag was displayed for Charles Jackson. He is the leader. Second place at the start-finish line was Austin Weiner. Gonzalez was third. Kyle Miller was fourth. Balkowitz fifth. Sixth place Kyle Collins. Seventh place William Duncan. Eighth was Austin Talley. Ninth was Harrison Langford, and Noah Hart was 10th. 11th, Jack Kearney. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Langford just got hit. He's off track. So that's a spot in the top 10 for Kearney. As Langford's trying to make his way back onto the track here. I'm going to have to sneeze here real quick. Apologize for that. Langford trying to find his way back on track. Move back up here to the front. There's Kearney. And I believe it was Noah Hart who punted Harrison Langford into that corner. You can see the damage now on the number 3.14. And look at how slow he is. Look at Dylan Poteet, Chris Louviere, and Riley Anderson. Get a huge run on him coming down this highway stretch. Louviere stepped out of line. That's going to cost him. Last time we were here, there's your winner from this race, Chris Washer. When he won here last year, it was driving the number 10 Dodge, the Valvoline Dodge, for what was then Uper Motorsports. Move back up to the front, see if any developments have happened for the lead. Yeah, they have. Randy Gonzalez just bypassed Charles Jackson for the top position. Right now there's about maybe 8 drivers that are in the running for this win, because this is the final lap, believe it or not. Only 2 laps here at this track. Gonzalez, Jackson, Weiner, Talley, Balkowitz, Miller, Duncan, and Collins. Those are the only drivers that are really going to be in this to settle it out. And only 2 of them have been to victory lane already this season, those being Weiner and Duncan. Up to this point, we basically confirmed 4 drivers that are going to be in this season's chase. Danny Wells, Tristan Wilhoit, Robert Piet, and Chris Kyle. Weiner and Duncan could solidify themselves in the chase here if they could win. But here comes Charles Jackson looking on the high side of Brandon Gonzalez for the lead. Oh, he got up into the wall. He got up into the wall, and he was almost turned by Austin Talley. So Jackson's going to fall back a little bit there, and that may have eliminated him from this win. Brandon Gonzalez, a nice, sizable lead right now. Gonzalez may be making a case for himself to pick up his first Snickers Cup Series win since what I think would have been Season 4 when he won at Talladega Super Speedway in the number 78. Here comes Balkowitz, though. Big run for that 28 through this corner. William Duncan there as well. Remember the battle those two ended up having with each other back at Open Roads. Here we go, though, heading towards the turn of death. Are these guys going to be able to make it? Here we go. Brandon Gonzalez out of the final corner for the final time. He makes it through. Looks like everybody from the front did. Balkowitz. Is it going to be Gonzalez at the line? Coming down the straightaway. Nobody to challenge him. Brandon Gonzalez picks up his first win of the season. And I believe that's only his second career Snickers Cup Series win. Winning here today at Thornton. What a great job by Brandon. And for the first time in Season 9, Mitsubishi Lancer gets to victory lane. It happens here at the treacherous road course of Thornton. Top 10 have crossed the line, and they are Brandon Gonzalez, William Duncan gets second, Balkowitz in third, Kyle Collins will get fourth with Austin Weiner fifth, Kyle Miller in sixth, seventh was Austin Talley. Charles Jackson, who took the white flag as the leader, will finish in eighth. Jack Kearney in ninth, and Dylan Pote will finish out the day in the 10th position. But Brandon Gonzalez now throws his name into the ring for a possible spot in this season's chase. Who else here today in the other two division races is going to try and do the same? We're going to find out now as we're going to step aside, show you full finisher results from this race, and come back here for Division 2. So we're moments away from getting green flag racing here in Division 2. Our winner last week, Momo Akari from Open Roads in the Division 2 race, will start on the pole for this race. So can Momo Akari go back-to-back at two 12-plus mile road courses? That would be quite interesting if she could do that. Let's take a look at your starting lineup for this one. She'll start alongside of Christopher Pierce, Dougie Shears, Nathan Ormond. There's Jeffrey Finguy, who right now is in the hunt for a spot in this season's chase. Danny Wells, three-time winner, trying to get to victory lane for the fourth time. There you see Robert Piet, two-time winner, another of the drivers that's confirmed in this season's chase. Dylan Young, having a pretty struggling season so far for Young Motorsports, while most of his teammates are actually putting together some really good runs the past couple of weeks. Jacob Lawler, former champion, still trying to find victory lane this season. And Kyle Matthews starting dead last in this race. Let's get these cars rolling off. Engines firing up. They're going to get underway here. So Momo Akari was able to conquer Open Roads. Will she be able to conquer Thornton? She's starting in a good track position spot. As here we go. Flagman's ready on this long straightaway. And he's waving the green. We're underway here in Division 2 at Thornton. Already spreading out three wide, almost four wide back there. And they get killed by the Union Pacific engine. Whoa, one car was way up and off the racing surface there. I think that might have been, yeah, oh, whoever it is, they're flipping. That's Jake Haynes in the 97. Well, I thought he was flipping over. It looked like he was barrel rolling. Oh, there's a car outside the racetrack. That is Dougie Shears, who was fourth on the start of this race. He's outside the racing surface trying to find his way back. but separated by that steel guardrail. At the front, battle for the lead. Jeffrey Finguy trying to take the top position away from Momo Akari. Might be able to do it. Here comes Ian Dutta. Jump into the outside. Jeffrey Finguy, if the chase were to have ended last week, would have been 10th in the chase standings. Trying to pick up his second win, solidify his spot in this season's Snickers Cup Series chase. We'll look at the back again, see if anybody else has encountered trouble. Oh, Danny Wells is already on pit road. Trouble for the three-time winner. Jessica Villanueva's back here as well. I think the 62 was the one I saw actually go off the racing surface there a while back. But perhaps not. And Jeffrey Finguy out in front. Now, if it's any indication from the Division 1 race, the driver that leads coming to the white flag is not in the best spot to lead while coming to the checkered flag. We saw Charles Jackson lead coming to the white in Division 1, but it wasn't him that came to the checkered flag. It was Brandon Gonzalez as well. Ian Dutta and Momo Akari were actually right up against each other there. That could have really caused tire problems for both those drivers, but they now are off of each other and they're both continuing on. Henry Cavanaugh now getting into the mix there, along with Webster Zygarde, Eric Powers. Look at Ian Dutta with that run up the inside line. He's going to go for the top position. Looking further back there, wow. Benjamin Miles and Eric Burton got awfully close to that Jersey barrier that separates this racing lane from the ordinary highway traffic on the other side. We'll look to see if anybody else has encountered problems. Dougie Shear still trying to find his way back onto the racetrack and has not been successful there. Boy, that's a lonely car right there. Danny Wells, the only driver that's had to teleport to pit road. The other drivers, Jake Haynes, Jessica Villanueva, who have encountered problems, they are currently still running and appear to be up to speed. I don't know if Momo Akari might have gotten up on the shoulder there for a moment. Her car looked awfully squirrely down that long straightaway portion. Webster Zygarde now moves into the second position. Whoa! A lot of slipping and sliding back here between Dutta, Cavanaugh, and I think that was Eric Powers in the 36. As we are getting close to that section of racetrack these drivers have nightmares about. The turn of death. Jump to the TV1 camera for this. This is another section of track which is very treacherous. Oh, and Finguy found out hard way. He gets turned. Got the wall and gets turned. Henry Cavanaugh to the point. The other couple drivers just went off the track there too. We'll document them in just a minute, but we are coming to the turn of death. Is anyone going to fall off of it? John Cittadino and Luis Hernandez fell off of it in Division 1. Here comes the leader, Cavanaugh, off the corner. Is anyone going to fall off the turn of death? Zach Rogers is off! Oh, man, James Shelley shoving there into, I think that was Carter Fargo. He didn't want to fall off. Whoa, Momo Akari almost went off. 14's got some damage. And there's Finguy. Isaac Canepa, Lisa Gonzalez way back here too. 14 of last week's winner, Momo Akari, though, way back here now in 30th. I think she may have gotten a slight piece of that whole incident with Jeffrey Finguy and company. Lyndon Wright's got damage on the right side of his Ford. I think he may have gotten the steel guardrail. And Dougie Shears is getting lapped as he still is trying to find his way back onto the track. He still has not been able to. Henry Cavanaugh, the leader now. Ian Dutta is in second. Nick Pericles third. Fourth is Zach Rostowski, and Jonathan Zorley's now up to fifth. Sixth, Eric Powers. Seventh, Kyle Corbett. Theo Stegall runs in eighth. Ninth place is Dylan Young, and I think someone just shoved off track. Yes, Kyle Corbett has just slid off track. and he was in the 7th position last time by. Almost shades of what happened to Harrison Langford in Division 1. So now Stegall, I think, would be in 7th. 8th would be Dylan Young. 9th, Brandon Krasta. And then you got Christopher Pierce and Brad Mojo battling here for what I believe would be the 10th position. Back at the front, it's still Henry Cavanaugh, but now Nick Pericles has bypassed Ian Dutta for 2nd. Pericles, former winner this season, looking for his 2nd win to lock himself into the chase. Zach Krastowski right behind him. Zorline in a battle for 4th with Ian Dutta. And Theo Stegall right there in that 6th position. The Ford of Cavanaugh, the Dodge of Pericles, the Chevrolet of Krastowski, and then the Chevy of Zorline, the BMW of Dutta, and the Dodge of Stegall. Nick Pericles looking to the inside of Cavanaugh, and Zorline looks even lower as I just hit the wrong button. Oh, looks like Dougie Shears found the opening back onto the racetrack, but a lot of times when drivers are caught out there and they try and fit through that little sliver of a space, they end up hitting the steel guardrail head on. And I think that's what happened to Dougie Shears. I think Nick Pericles is just a nose ahead of Henry Cavanaugh right now. Now Cavanaugh is a nose ahead as they continue to drag race down this highway portion of the track. And now Cavanaugh is going to get the advantage. Cavanaugh will go back to the front. Pericles, however, will have the advantage of the right-hander coming up at the end of this segment. Is Cavanaugh clear? He is. Cavanaugh is clear. He is back out in front. Looks like it might be 6 drivers to battle for this win. Cavanaugh, Pericles, Theo Stegall, Krastowski, Ian Dutta, and Jonathan Zorline as they head through the right-hander onto the next portion of highway. Theo Stegall looking to the inside there of Nick Pericles for 2nd. Pericles trying to get the draft off the 136 to go for the lead and potential win. Ooh, 136 bobbled a little bit there as he got onto the slippery section of that shoulder. And now Pericles is going to make a run to the inside. Into the final few corners, we'll jump to the TV1 cam. Oh, Cavanaugh into the wall. Pericles off the track as well. Who's the leader? It's Krastowski, but here comes Theo Stegall for the lead. Stegall, rim run the high side, he clears him. Theo Stegall went around the outside and he got the lead from Zach Krastowski. Out of the final corner, the driver who was running in 6th is now to the front, and he's going to go for the win. Can Krastowski get a run down the straightaway? Not close enough. Theo Stegall picks up his first win this season at Snickers Cup, winning at Thornton. Krastowski in 2nd, and Dylan Young, who had lost the front pack on that final lap, he was back in 7th. He's going to finish in the 3rd position. Brad Mojo gets 4th, Dutta 5th, Zorline in 6th, 7th place PJ Williams, 8th Robert Piet, 9th Christopher Pierce, and Brandon Krasta is going to get 10th. Wow. A mess up by the leader coming into the final few corners, Henry Cavanaugh. It messed both him and Nick Pericles up, and a lot of drivers were there to capitalize, and Theo Stegall, right place, right time, made the move out of the final corner on the high side, passing Krastowski, and he'll pick up the victory here today. 3rd win of the season for Rogers Motorsports. The only other 2 coming in the courtesy of Tristan Wilhoit. So as Theo Stegall made a case for himself to be in the chase for the championship? I don't know. He very well might have. We'll find out when the points are tallied after this race. But we still got one more division race to go. That's Division 3. So we'll show you the full results from Division 2 race here at Thornton. And head over now for the starting of the Division 3 race to finish off what's been a very interesting weekend here at Thornton. So we'll get ready here for Division 3 racing, and it really has been wild in the first two races. So what can we expect here? Well, I say expect the unexpected. As we got Blaine Keys starting on the pole, we'll show you your starting lineup for this one. Blaine Keys and Jay Barker will start on the front row. Sean Henley, former winner this season, alongside of David Rivera. There's two-time winner Chris Kyle, who's already locked himself in the chase, starting alongside of Dylan Casella. There you got Angel Navarro, former winner this season, Chris Dollerton, Ryan Acosta, Chris Maley, Sean Galligan still trying to find victory lane for the first time this season. Same for these two teammates out of RRE Motorsports. That's Jessica Shelton and Joshua Collard. Trent Dunham not been having the best of seasons. There's two-time winner Tristan Wilhoit locked into the chase right now at the current moment. Don LaPrade, former winner this season. Same for Alex Hawkins. Levi McIntyre, Daytona 500 winner, starting near the back of the pack here. There's Connor Breton, another former winner this season. And the final row being comprised of James Silverfox, and making his second start for Retro Racing Enterprises in the Chevrolet now, Charles Sanford in the 03. So, get the engines fired, get them going. Well, we haven't seen any drivers yet take advantage of winning their second, third, or fourth race of the season to solidify themselves a spot in the chase. So far today, it's been two winners for the first time in Season 9. Will we see the same here in Division 3? We're about to find out. Blaine Keys leads them down. Green flag is out here in the final division race at Thornton. Are they going to get killed by a train here? Nope, not quite. Looks like the train actually was waiting for them to go by this time. Decides, I'll kill Division 1, I'll kill Division 2, but I won't kill Division 3. I forgot to jump to the spectator cam, my bad. Here comes Sean Henley to the inside, looking for the lead. Chris Kyle right there with him. Right now we already have one driver from Tweenix Racing who is confirmed in this season's chase, and that is the three-time winner Danny Wells. Sean Henley would like to join his teammate in the chase. Henley, a former Snickers Cup Series champion, won the championship back in Season 4. And right now he's got a pretty sizable lead over the new second-place driver of Chris Kyle. Let's jump in the back, see if anybody's encountered problems early on here. Yes, Dylan Casella, who started the race from the 6th position. He's in trouble outside the racetrack. Derek Pemberton's way back here in the 181, former winner this season. It looks like Dorian Facepuncher for Heavy Metal Hip Hop Racing has encountered some early trouble. Same for Don LaPrade. And Charles Sanford, also way back here, so he must have run into some trouble. Casella still trying to find his way onto the track. We saw that happen to Dougie Shears in the Division 2 race. Henley to the front. Chris Kyle right there in second, though, trying to join Danny Wells is a three-time winner this season. Blaine Keys right behind him. And then Chris Dollerton now up here in the fray. Along with Jay Barker, Angel Navarro, and Ryan Acosta. Angel Navarro, Ryan Acosta going to get around Chris Dollerton there. That's for position, and the battle's on for the lead. Chris Kyle, with a little help from Angel Navarro, going to try and go to the inside of the Pfizer Viagra Chevrolet. 3 wide behind him. Chris Dollerton having to give Ryan Acosta some room to fit in line in front of him. As here comes the Crossman forward to the inside. And Chris Kyle will go to the front now. Looking for his 3rd win of the season to put him atop the wins list this season with Danny Wells. Look further back, see if anybody else has had any trouble whatsoever. Doesn't really look like it. Everybody else on back through here is still going. Up the front, battle on for second. Well, maybe not. Maybe a battle for the lead. Blaine Keys, Ryan Acosta, and Chris Maley working with Sean Henley to get him by Chris Kyle. Right now, at this point, we only have 3 drivers who are confirmed to be in this season's chase. Danny Wells, Tristan Wilhoit, Robert Piet, and Chris Kyle. That due to the fact that they have either 2 or more wins so far this season. Everybody else that's been to victory lane this season has been to victory lane only once, so in order to really make sure you are guaranteed a spot in this season's chase, you got to get to victory lane at least one more time if you only got 1 win. Henley knows that. Angel Navarro right there as well. Navarro, remember how Navarro ended up winning his race? Charles Sanford had to pit with 2 to go. It handed the lead and the win over to Angel Navarro back at Dover. Now Navarro realizing, hey, I can't just rely on a lucky situation to get me into the chase. He's up here at the front. Oh boy, this is treacherous back through this portion. Oh, whoa, whoa, Shelton into the wall, but she saves it. Dion Scott's around though, and so is Chris Dollerton. As we got to move to TV1, Joshua Mudd's off track, along also with, I think that was Alex Pedro. Here they come to the turn of death. Is anyone going to fall off of it? Henley with a sizable lead. He can take it easy through this corner. Everybody else looks like they're going to get through it okay for the moment. Whoa, Stephanie Gardner close. Whoa, Joseph Strigley. There goes Stephen Pollard the third as well. Strigley, though, never slowed down. He went down full speed even before getting to the tire or to the track crossing there. There's Alex Pedro. A lot of hood damage on his machine. Joshua Mudd as well. There's Sanford and Dunn LaPrade trying to pick up what they can, pick up the scraps. Dorian Facepuncher, Derek Pemberton there as well. Strigley, Pollard, and Pedro all on pit road. Pollard and Strigley both went off the turn of death. Boy, and Strigley never, it seems like he never even deaccelerated when he came to that corner. He just went flying straight off. We've seen some drivers, they'll take it a little wide, then they'll get 2 tires down on that downward slope, and then they have trouble getting grip and they'll fall off, which is kind of what happened to Steve Pollard III. But in the case of Strigley, his car never even really seemed to turn. He just went straight ahead off the corner. So scary right there for the Joseph Strigley machine. Former winner this season too. As the battle for the lead is on, Angel Navarro to the front. Right now there's about 6 drivers up here in this front pack. Navarro, Henley, Acosta, Chris Kyle, then Jessica Shelton, and Jay Barker. David Rivera trying to close in there, Chris Maley as well, and then you've got Charles Belding, the pole sitter Blaine Keys, Stephanie Gardner, and Trent Dunham. James Qualls, Henry Nova back there as well, trying to catch up. Navarro out in front, but Henley going to look to the right side. Is anybody going to go with him, offer some drafting help? Looks like he might get some. Chris Kyle, well, Chris thought about it. Now moves back to the other side to help Navarro. Chris Kyle actually helped Angel Navarro by Henley just a little while ago, so not surprised to see him back on the bumper of the Zaxby's Toyota. And think about it too, from Chris Kyle's standpoint, who would you rather have in the chase against you, a rookie or a former Snickers Cup Series champion? So I think he was trying to get Navarro his 2nd win of the season, but Henley, with the help of Ryan Acosta, he moves to the point. Jay Barker, 3 wide there with Ryan Acosta. Now Acosta will clear him. Can Ryan Acosta get himself to victory lane here? 5 drivers, 6 drivers. They're starting to get reeled in here by Shelton, Rivera, and Maley. They could have something to say about this win before it's all said and done. But right now, it's all Henley and Navarro at the front. Here comes Navarro, looking to the right. Anybody going to go with him? I'd be surprised if Chris Kyle didn't go with him. He's been helping that 0.25 this whole last lap. But instead, he stays with Sean Henley. Instead, it's Ryan Acosta pushing Angel Navarro to the point. And he will get there, Will Navarro, with the help from Acosta. And now David Rivera's right up in this mix. So too is Jessica Shelton. And Chris Maley in the 92. Acosta to the inside, to the front. Now we're coming to the treacherous portion of the racetrack. Remember, we saw the leader in Division 2 wreck in these final few corners. Ryan Acosta doesn't want that to happen to him, but here comes Henley looking to the bottom. He'll have the advantage into this corner, will Henley. Side by side between Acosta and Henley. Oh, Acosta going wide through that corner, trying not to hit the guardrail, but he did. Jay Barker hit it too, right in front of traffic. Henley with a huge lead right now. Battle for second between Navarro and Acosta as they'll come off the final corner here. Sean Henley, nobody there to challenge him off the final turn. Acosta moved to second, Navarro third, Kyle to fourth, Maley to fifth, but it's going to be Sean Henley picking up his second win of the season. Sean Henley is going to make it into the chase. Second win for the 57. He wins here in Division 3 at Thornton. And he'll become the second Tweenix Racing driver to solidify himself a spot in this season's Snickers Cup Series chase for the championship. What a win there for Henley, fighting tooth and nail with Chris Kyle, Ryan Acosta, Angel Navarro this whole race, and was able to capitalize in the final few corners. Sean Henley is a two-time winner here in Season 9, and he is in the chase for the championship. John Cittadino became a two-time Snickers Cup Series champion last season. Could Henley be looking to be a two-time Snickers Cup Series champ this season? Take a look at your full top 10 from this race, and man, did these guys earn it. Henley with the win, Acosta a great run for him in second, Navarro in third, and Chris Kyle fourth. Those were the four dominant cars this race for sure. Maley's going to get fifth, David Rivera in sixth, Jessica Shelton seventh, eighth place Stephanie Gardner, Charles Belding in ninth, and Blaine Keys started first. He'll finish in the top 10 today in the 10th position. But what a race there for Sean Henley. What a race in all three of these events. Great racing here today. Brandon Gonzalez goes to victory lane for the first time in Season 9 in Division 1. In Division 2, Theo Segal goes to victory lane for the first time this season. And Sean Henley grabs a chase spot here in Season 9 with his second win of the season here in Division 3. Hope you guys enjoyed this entire race weekend from Thornton. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. Here comes your official full finish results from Division 3, the finishing results from Division 1 and 2. We're at the end of those respective races, and we'll show you now your official point standings heading into next week. Right off the top of my head, I'm not certain. I think we're heading to Armory Digital Super Speedway, if I'm not mistaken, for our next race. That's going to be a true testament of these drivers' fortitude and skill. So I hope you'll tune in for that. And we'll show you now your point standings, and also we'll show you your chase standings, the chase field, what it would look like if the chase were to start after this race. So we know now Danny Wells, Tristan Wilhoit, Robert Piet, Chris Kyle, and now Sean Henley have officially captured 5 of the 16 available spots in this season's chase for the championship. Who else will join them? We'll find out as the chase to the chase continues on here on the NNSCRA Sports Channel, offline racing at its best. Goodbye from Thornton, everybody.
Just screw me over, but I made believe it was always something.